Yeah, it's that time of year again. Libres is putting on their enduro race.
Perfecto, perfecto. Tranquilo, tranquilo, tranquilo. Perfecto. Bandera blanca. A ver, espérate, yo.
You're freaking killing it, man. Noise! Oh!
¡Libres Puebla! ¡Un triunfo más!
Last year I did this race and it was really, really awesome. The people were super kind and the whole town showed up. And it was really the first race that I've ever been to that the spectators were just like out in force. Yeah, kind of a lot. 6 people on a starting line, and it is not a big starting line. Terrible start on my part. Not for any other reason. I just got pitched out. I got stuck. And I was really dedicated at this point to taking out the guy in front. But he's actually a friend of mine. And last second, I was like, don't do it. It's not worth it. Yeah, I got 6 laps. If I'm going to beat him, I'm going to beat him. I'm not going to freaking crash into him. So I really wanted to. It took a lot of restraint. But it wasn't an intentional thing that he did. So yeah. So we both take the danger line to make this pass because I didn't want to get stuck behind somebody slower. And yeah, we kind of both did because we both didn't get a great start. The guy who's in the lead now is actually a Mexican pro-ish motocross racer. He wins at the top level of Mexican motocross racing, and he's from this town. So he's not only a motocross racer, but he's also he's an enduro guy. This is in the mountains of Mexico. If you can ride dirt bike, you can ride enduro like here. I think for the most part, Mexican people, Central Mexican people, are better at riding enduro than they are at motocross. Truthfully, because it's just so gnarly here. But yeah, the dust was wicked. I took this line intentionally just to get out of the dust, just to go right back into the dust. It hasn't rained in weeks, maybe even a month. But we get down into the shade, and there's some humidity in the sand that helps a little bit. That helps a lot, I should say. A little bit's wrong, but the second you leave that, it gets dusty again. And for however dusty it looks for you, it's just as bad in real life. It's not like you have better vision. The light going in and out like that's tough too, because there is a film of dust on your lenses at this point. You could use tear-offs, but it'd just be absolutely silly. Yeah, so this guy is slower than me, and I'm just waiting. A lot of the times what happens is they're faster, or they're quick through the straights, they're quick through the areas, and if I can't see what's coming, I slow down. I don't have that killer death instinct like a lot of people do, so I'm more cautious than I probably should be. Obviously, I want to be faster and be better at that, but it's easier said than done. We all have fear in us, so I'm gonna try and take this wide line, go down and stay to the right, and then cut through here. I had this plan, but this concrete pile right there was really slippy, and it almost caught me out. So yeah, it's full send through here. I do end up being 6th gear, top gear, and then you're on the brakes. But there are speed bumps, so you're hitting speed bumps at about 70 miles an hour, and the second to last speed bump is your braking zone. So after you hit that, you're on the brakes, and then the last speed bump, you're hoping that you maintain traction. That's pretty much it. Yeah, this is where I'm about to put in work. I know that. I'm about to say it on the camera too, so I'm just gonna let you hear it.
All right, let's do some work.
Let's do some work, I said. And then I immediately mess it up. But it's all good. The reason I'm ready to do work right now is because all that was fast flowy single track stuff, which I'm not the best at. And here is rocky dry riverbed, which I love. You can hear it. I'm not like full throttle, bro, because that's just stupid in here. You hit a rock wrong, your front tire is going off to the side, and you're gonna go down to the rocks. But I do carry a lot more speed through here than I think even the top two guys did, especially in the first lap, because I should not have been able to see them in the first lap because I was stuck behind that guy and had a bad start, blah blah blah. But I definitely kept up with them for a while, and yeah. So this is about a 30-minute race. So if you know, some people think that's long. It's not really that long, but it is long in the dry riverbed. The way I treat these situations, like these rocks, is lean back like sand, like hips back, and you're really trying just to maintain a straight position with the bars. You're not trying to control with the bars. You just keep the bars straight, and then you steer with your feet. It's more of a suggestion, though. You're not really telling the bike to go left or right. You're just like saying, hey, bike, I kind of want you to go right. So I'm looking far ahead, probably 100 yards, 100 meters, depending on the part of the world you're in. But I'm looking far ahead to try and look for that rock that's going to take me out. Because while a lot of the rocks are the same, there are always that random ones that are not. So up and then back down. You kind of got to hit this just not super perpendicular. And then I went left through here into the river again, to the Rocky River, to this yellow dog food bag. And then I got back over it. Everyone else crossed the river and then would get on it and then cross right about here. So I just crossed the river. I stayed in the river. There's the leader up there. And then you'll see number 2 up top 2. Yep, there he is. Anyways, I stayed in the river longer because I didn't feel like it changed my speed all that much. Yeah, I could have been a lot more aggressive up this hill. I never quite figured out how to do that. There's definitely a way, and I didn't find it. And even though I know it's a closed circuit, I still get scared to cross the street here. Like, I know, like, my brain's saying, dude, they've closed off the road, they've closed off the road, they've closed off the road. I just can't trust it. I can't trust it, so I slow down. So through here, it's pretty dusty, pretty sandy. I think third gear mellow. That wasn't like a big send, that was just a third gear mellow send. And I'm checking now, I can see back, see if there's any dust coming behind me. My wife yelling, you're in third. No, I actually wasn't 100% sure, so her saying that was helpful. And yeah, I know a lot of you motocross guys who's going to tell me how to do whoops. Well, go suck one. I'm not a motocross guy, and those aren't really that important to do fast. So they weren't really whoops either. They were mounds of dirt randomly spaced apart. So sorry, motocross guys. I don't know how to do supercross whoops. You know, I started riding 2 years ago, and I'm 35 years old, so I did my best. Back on it, you can see there's not very much dust, which is not a good sign for catching them. The only thing in my mind is that they might have an off, like they might go down. I'm not saying that I want them to get hurt, but I am saying that I do expect every rider to crash at least once, myself included. And I'm thinking, okay, just maintain pace, keep pushing, keep trying. It might not sound like I'm pushing, but this is as fast as I can go. I wouldn't say there was a point in this race that I wasn't trying my hardest. I really was putting everything I had out there. Yeah, and if that's not fast enough for you, then sorry. I'm just a regular guy, you know. I didn't grow up doing this. So I really do like this section, this river section. It's like sandy, so you can really lean in and kind of just use the gas to carve. And then at that back there's a cinder block that developed. Must have been hidden under the sand or something, because lap 2, or I think this is lap 2, but I think lap 2 or 3 it started to really show. And if you hit that cinder block, it would have really been gnarly. Like, I already bent my rim a lot for this race just through the dry riverbed, but that cinder block would have been a bad rim bend, which sucks. So yeah, this is a cool section. Could have done better. Could have been on the gas faster there. Like, there's a lot of little things that separate me from the top 2 guys, I think. They probably are on the gas sooner. They probably are on the gas longer. They're probably not holding back when they can't see. And, like, I could have braked there instead of coasting and then braking. So, yeah. Like, I know that there's a lot of room for improvement. But, you know, that's why I practice. And I'm just having fun, you know. I don't have any... I don't have any expectations of ever being like a pro rider or anything, but definitely enjoy racing, and I think it's really fun. I think everyone that likes riding should try it, because I mean, how often do you get to go 100% down a public road like that? That's so wild that this city shut down public roads. Like, these are where people live. They shut it down so that we could go. Yeah, it's just super cool. And I'm still scared to go through here because it is pretty slippy. Like, it's not deep sand, but it's just deep enough, you know? So yeah, the front slides out. And of course, the whole time I'm coming up to this, I'm thinking, I gotta get them in this river section. And don't kid yourself, these are not solid rocks. Like, they're loose, they're varied in size. You can see there's some big ones, there's some small ones, there's sharp ones, round ones, and yeah, you gotta take care of each and every one of them. You're making about 1 million decisions a minute in the river. Do you try and get out of the river? Do you try and use the path, even though there's trees and stuff? After the tree, I tried to stay left and use this path. I don't know if that was the best call, but it seems like the big rocks were down there. So right there, go down into it, avoiding the rocks. See more rocks here. I know that when I come down here, there's a dip up, and then there's 2 rocks, and bam. I actually crashed here, yeah, because I was focused on what was directly in front of me instead of leaning to the right, trying to get around the next thing. It happens to everyone, you know. It takes a lot of practice to always look ahead. I will say though, I was pretty happy. I didn't get arm pump throughout this whole race. My legs hurt today really bad, which is a really good sign. That means that me spending that mental energy to focus on using my legs instead of my arms paid off. So this section through here, a lot of people are probably gonna be like, why don't you take the path on the left? There is no path on the left. That is like all shrub brush, so it would have been slower to be in that. Now maybe there's over there, I don't know. This is the line that everyone was taking. I watched a lot of people the day before, because here in Mexico they give you a day to practice. It's not like in America with GNCC where they're like just show up and figure it out on the day. That section there, those are big rocks. Those are basketball sized rocks. So that's why I got thrown off. I didn't take those very well. And then up to here. That was weird. I don't know what the camera did there. And then back down. It's a pretty loose downhill, but it's so short that you just kind of don't brake and you'll be alright. It's not so scary. And again, the dog food bag. I chose this line earlier in the day. I was helping the female classes, and I noticed that nobody had taken that line. Like, nobody. And I was like, well, it seems like, why not? It seemed quicker, so I did it all day, and it's hard to tell if it is faster or slower because I didn't like time each one. Maybe I should have, but I didn't see it until the day of the race. So yeah. Anyways, back up on the throttle. You're in attack position the whole time. Like, you don't sit. There's no sitting in this style of racing. Maybe in that sandy section. I'll tell you when we get there. But right now, I'm leaning forward because if I'm not, I'd get arm pumped so bad. Kind of go thread that needle between the cactus and the whatever that thing is. Back up. Saying from the United States. That they're really excited to have somebody from the United States in this race because it's a small event and it's literally put on by the talent. So yeah, they're playing it up. They're playing like can the Mexicans beat the American? Blah, blah, blah. I think it's awesome. And what's funny is I really know and love a lot of the people who love me, and I love them. So they're not trying to do it in like, down on the American. A lot of the people wanted me to win, but it just wasn't the case. You can see that at this point, I haven't seen the dust of the first or second guys. They're probably, I would guess, 30 seconds to a minute ahead of me at this point. And I believe this is lap 3. Like, even watching, I can't keep track of what laps I'm on. I usually just go until somebody yells at me to stop. So, Yeah. I wish I could go faster through there, but the truth of the matter is it's like a really deep V, and if you hit the wall, it throws you off. So yeah, I get through here. This right here is where I'll start sitting in this stuff. I'm up, standing, and sit through here usually, and then stand up again. I use like, if I go down, I use that energy to take a moment to rest on my butt, and then when I hit a bump, I use that to stand back up. That way I don't have to physically stand. Just conserves a little bit of energy, plus it feels cool. So here I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna leg out through here because this is like all sandy moto stuff, and still avoid that cinder block you can't see. I think I've hit that same branch 2 or 3 times. I don't know why I'm not on it harder through there, honestly. I think I'm getting a little tired. I know it's crazy. I'm only like 15 minutes into the ride and I'm tired, but races are, especially the dry river bed, they bring it out of you. You get tired. But doesn't make it like I should be physically fit enough to do that. I just didn't train enough for this, I don't think. But I train a lot, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. Could be. You know? I think Ricardo is the second place guy. I think he's my age, but I know the guy who came in first, he's young. He's a young guy. See, I shouldn't have been braking yet. But I don't know. Maybe that stuff, I know that stuff would add up to like seconds each lap. Like I should be starting to slowly get on the gas, but you know, I'm doing my best, like I said. I was quiet there because I like to hear, you can hear the tires locking up as I'm braking. And don't fool yourself, it's not just the rear, the front tire's locking up too. Like if you don't think you need a rim lock on the front, you'll get some speed and find out your front tire moves just as much as the rear. It's a hard braking. Your front tire's spinning 100% every time. It's trying to stay a little further to the right than the last 2 times because I kept hitting those rocks and it was like sliding, knocking me around a little bit more than I wanted it to. So yeah, again, like this is such a complicated section. It's really half the course, really, and this rear. Normally, I don't know why I did that. Normally, a hair scramble or enduro race is like 20 to 30% technical, and the rest is just send it. Maybe some big jumps or something like that. But well, heck, old traditional enduro is like majority in a field, and they call it like special stages. It's just snaking through a field. So I would say this is not hard enduro, but harder enduro than typical enduro stuff, just because of the ratio of technical to fast. Because this river is very technical. Watching it, you're gonna probably thinking it's not that bad, but truly ask yourself, have you ever done anything like that? The answer is probably no. So it's just it's a different kind of thing. So trying to maintain speed, just get the butt back. It's not much you can do. As far as just keep going. That's the strat. That's the strat. Stand up really is number one most important thing. A lot of every other category, we're sitting through there and they're just getting bounced around by these rocks. And then people would say, oh, well, it's because you have a better suspension that you're able to go faster. I have a bone stock suspension. There's nothing done to it other than maintenance. It's not even valved for anything other than what KTM gave it to me. It is exactly the way KTM put it together. So it's not my suspension. I did not mean to come up close on those people. It just happened. It's just, don't sit. If you sit, all those bumps get absorbed right up into your spine. And surprisingly, a spine is not a good suspension component. I say it all the time. People don't listen. But your ankles, your knees, your hips, elbows, wrists, those are all things that are designed to move and wiggle. So yeah, Good line through here. This part reminds me so much of Ensenada, like the Baja 1000. If you aren't familiar, check it out. It's really cool off-road race. But that reminds me of the start of Ensenada, in the start of the Baja in Ensenada, because it's in like a little river like that, and yeah, up we go. And like at this point, I can't see the leaders. I'm more concerned with losing the podium at this point than I am gaining a place, if that makes any sense. I want to win and I want to be, but that dust right there tells me, okay, I'm not that far behind. And then I'm like, okay, is that him? Is that second place? I'm like, oh shoot. And I see who it is, and I'm like, okay, no, that's not second place. It's a back marker. And I'm really impressed with Todo here. He's on a Kayo. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's like a Chinese bike. They're more than capable. They're not terrible by any means. But you know, he entered expert class on that, and it was really cool. So I yelled thank you. He got out of the way, which was really cool. And I don't know why he entered expert. I think maybe he entered it for video, which is a great idea because he does video a lot, but I'm not entirely sure if that was the reason, or maybe he just wanted to see what it's like to be an expert class. You know, that's the beauty of these small races. They don't cost a lot of money, so it's not a big deal to enter. You could enter 3 or 4 categories and really not be out that much. So up and out we go, back into the riverbed here. Just wind out second gear through there, and I'm avoiding that cinder block. You really can't see it on camera, but you just have to trust me. It's there, and it wants to eat. It wants to eat your rim really bad. And yeah, again, like I said in the very first lap, the light flashing like that, it's not just a trick of the camera. It's not a trick of the lens. It's the same thing you see when you have goggles on. Our eyes do react a little bit quicker, but a GoPro is pretty darn quick, so light's the light is what you see. It's kind of the cool thing about the GoPro is that it really does a decent job of showing you what I see, not necessarily what I feel. Still pretty cool. And left-hander. See, again, I'm still trying that line to try and stay wide and then stay right and then stay left. I don't really know if that made it faster. I actually think it may have made it slower, but I don't know. I told myself I was going to do it, so I did it. You can hear the bike. That was 6th gear, just topped that little double tap. No point in holding it there. I'm not gonna, like I said before, I'm not at this point hunting for second place. So, still, that corner's scary. It's a blind corner. There was a dog there last time. It's loose. There's a lot of reasons why I slow down. I don't think the other guys do though. I can't remember what lap I'm on. I think this is lap 4. Back in the river. Really, this is like my favorite part of the whole thing, even though it is the most physically difficult part and the most dangerous. Like the other parts, not so dangerous. Like you could crash or whatever, but this crashing in rocks just hurts. Just freaking hurts. I don't know what. I keep watching it now. I think maybe going down into the river would have been faster instead of trying to go through that little trail, I guess you could call it. I don't think it's a trail. Did it again. Same exact thing. There's a rock there that I'm not seeing that's forced, that I want to turn to the right, but it won't allow the tire to turn, and I just don't see that rock. Still, even though I'm watching the video, I don't see the rock. there's a couple of things like that I was, while I go over the footage, trying to find out what was going on, like why something happened. I can't figure it out. So trying to get any speed through there, but the second you get some speed, you need to shed it so that you can get back in the river. That was a tough one. So that crash hurt, not gonna lie. My left hand still hurts pretty bad, and then that hand guard won't go back down. I actually need to get the tools out to put it back. And you can tell I'm hurt. You can tell. I'm just like, yeah, just keep going. You know, I'm not injured. I'm not concussed. I don't have anything broken. The levers are all good. So take a moment, just kind of like get some breath back in you, and get going again. Really. So that's where I'm at. It takes it out of you in a sense. Like if you were in a good headspace and you crash like that, you're not in a good headspace anymore. Now you're like trying to get back into a place that makes sense. And yeah, luckily I crash a lot, so it's not like that big of a deal for me. But still, crashing in the rocks sucks. There's just no other way to put it. Those things are rocks. They are hard. They're not soft. Crashing in the sand, you're good. You know, as long as you're not going super, super fast, the sand is pretty forgiving. But rocks, doesn't matter how fast you're going. They're not forgiving. They don't care. And I can't figure out what happened either. I've watched it over and over again. And honestly, the front just kind of slid out. So, you know, that's the nature of the beast. Just a moment where my balance wasn't on point. And you can look down to the right into the valley to see, or into the ravine to see if there's anyone coming, and I don't see anybody. So at this point, after the crash, I've had 3 crashes. I'm like, there's no way I'm catching second. I'm chilling. You can still look down, you can still see, there he is. I think I just now saw the guy coming, so he's a good 300-400 seconds to last lap. Or, I mean, sorry, this is the last lap. I saw the white flag. Everyone's kind of, yeah. Everyone's a little exhausted, I would say, because we're the last to go. So the fans are definitely there. I don't want to miss the whoops. I've seen a lot of people all day kind of like avoiding the whoops. You can see me just shaking my head like, I'm tired. My wife knows I'm tired. Everybody knows I'm tired. But everyone's tired. You know, that's the thing. When you start to be like, oh, I'm feeling tired, and you start feeling sorry for yourself, it's like everyone is tired. Everyone feels it, especially on that last lap. Fighting through that on the last lap is extremely difficult, but it's really vital. But the speed's not there. You can definitely tell there's a big difference between this lap and the first lap, but I think that's to be expected. It doesn't make me happy, but is what it is, you know. After that crash, I wouldn't say I was hurting, but mentally I was hurting. Like, I was like, it makes you second guess more than anything. You're second guessing whether or not you should be going that fast. Should you be picking that line? Are you in the right body position? And that's not where you need to be in your head. You need to just be not thinking, really, just reacting to what's coming up. Look ahead, react. Look ahead, react. Absorb information. See if I hit the same branch again. Yep. That's 3 times. This river would be really fun to just rail, which I mean it is. I guess I am in a race railing it, but yeah, it's fun. It's a fun river. I've never been to the left there. I'm curious what's up there, so just go up the step. A lot of people use the ramp on the left. Kind of throws you off for the rest of the climb. I don't know, man. It seems like I'm a little bit smoother through that section than I was in the last one. Maybe the crash got me in a mood to be smoother, or maybe I'm just like afraid. Sometimes you could hear another bike, whether it be an actual competitor or it could just be some random dude riding a motorcycle on the street, but you hear a bike, right? So you're like, I gotta go because there's somebody coming. Somebody's trying to catch me. And yeah, sometimes that'll light a fire in you. But come on, bro. Yeah, so I had a little look back. That's what it was. That's exactly what that was. That was me thinking I heard another motorcycle, and that's why I had to go a little bit quicker. Even though this is the last lap, even though I know I have a pretty good lead, you never know. Maybe somebody just turned it up. That does happen. I've been known to turn it up myself on the last lap. Like if I even thought I had a chance to catch him, I think maybe I could have found something. I'm not sure. That crash was pretty rough. Obviously, I'm fine, guys. I'm not saying that was the hardest crash. I'm not saying comparing myself to professional riders. I'm just saying, for me, into the rocks, that hurt. So you can calm down on your keyboard warrior comments. It's okay. I'm just a regular guy. So I kind of take the same line through there every time, and I'm not entirely sure that it's the right line. I didn't really get to watch anybody else go through here because it seemed like everybody was watching me, so they would wait and let me go. And that may have been strategy to just like keep their line hidden. And a lot of times when I saw somebody do that, when I saw them like wait for me to go to see what line I would take the hardest possible line. Like I'd go to the right through there and just be like, yep, this is the line I'm gonna take. So really not give them any information. But there's no secret to this. It's just practice and yeah, just practice. That's it. Practicing in these rocky sections isn't easy. Not a lot of people do it because 1, it's really risky. 2, it's hard on the bike, and 3, not a lot of people just don't have access to this kind of stuff. Like how many places in the world have a dry riverbed sometimes? Most of the time a river's a river all year round. So yeah, this is where I crashed last time. Definitely remember that, trust me. But it's also the most mild, like the smallest section for the rocks, so it really is the place where you need to be fast. And you can just hear the trees just eating your hands alive. I don't know how anybody does this kind of stuff without some sort of handguard. I'm not saying wraparounds, just handguard in general. Yep. It gets a little sketchy through there. I wouldn't say any of this stuff is like really gnarly stuff, but the rocks are definitely throw you off. I have no idea what that was. I have watched that 3 or 4 times to try and figure out what the heck happened. My front tire just decided to not be perpendicular to the ground anymore. I must have hit a rock or a series of rocks. And yeah, just didn't want to be upright, but made it work. Actually, for a moment there, I thought about, do I need to go back down and re-hit this? And I remembered, nope, got that new rear tire, that Maxxis SI. It's nice and aggressive. I can just throw some dirt and get up this hill, which is not really my style, but in a race, going back down, race like this, especially last lap, I'm not going back down if I don't have to. I'm gonna block that line. Yeah. But looking down, I don't see any competitors anywhere near, so I honestly could have, but nah, that's not what I wanted to do. Back on it. It's left-hander. Supposed to go around that cactus, I think, but I just did that instead. Last lap, and that's the race. So I came in 3rd overall. Pretty good. Ricardo is super fast. Alex is obviously super fast. This is what he does. And yeah, it's just that's the race.
Segundo lugar, desde Ciudad Salud Hidalgo, el capitán y como primer lugar de la casa del ¡Bravo!